If you guys want, you can all open up your chat and let me know where you are tuning in from. I always like to hear where you're tuning in from. Okay, let's see. We have Joanne's from Tucson, Leslie's from Princeton, Lori's from Northern California, Tiffany's from Elizabeth, Colorado. That's near where my mom lives. We have Jane from Ontario, Edie from Colorado. Oh, Andrea's from Bulgaria. That's cool. Jessica's from Germany. Awesome. I love to see that we have people from all over the world. We have someone from Poland, Dag from Poland, Brenda from Ontario. That's so cool. I mean, I think that that's one good thing that's happened this year because of the pandemic. And, you know, we've all been stuck at home is I learned how to use Zoom because I never used Zoom. And I'm sure many of you guys never used Zoom before this year. So that's one good thing that happened in 2021. Let's see, we have someone from Italy, someone from Ireland. Cool. That's very cool. I'm very happy to see all of you here. So let's see, you guys are all early. We still have 1 minute until it's officially 12 o'clock. I want you guys to all be sure that you have a piece of paper and a pen ready. So I'll be sure that you have something to write with and a writing utensil. I always, you know, I'm a big believer in that you have to take action on the things that you learn. So today I really want you all to write down your goals and then you're going to post them up somewhere in your house where you can see them every day, because it's really important that not only are you planning for the year ahead, but that you stick to your plan. I mean, of course, your plan will change and things will get modified, but that you keep track of your goals and that you put them somewhere where you see them every day. So that's a little tip of something that I do. Okay, so it's officially 12 o'clock. And since we are dressage people, we start right on time because we all know if you're not riding down the center line 2 minutes before your test, you might get eliminated. So we're practicing for any of us that might want to compete this year. Okay, so the agenda for today, we all have our pen and papers. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to reflect a little bit on 2020, on what we've accomplished last year. Number 2 is we're going to dream. So we're going to think about, you know, in our wildest dreams, what would we like to accomplish in our lifetime? Number 3 is we're going to set some objectives for the year ahead. So what's your biggest objective for riding? Number 4, we're going to set some key results. So key results are like the little baby steps of things that you need to achieve to get to your objective. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the courses that I offer and my commitment to you guys in the year ahead for how I'm going to be here to support you with your goals. And then the last thing is we're going to do some breakout rooms. And so that's an optional thing. Breakout rooms, for those of you guys that are new to this, is I put you guys in like individual meeting rooms with 2 other people. And that's a chance where if you want to, you can share your goals with some other people. And maybe you guys can exchange email addresses and keep up with each other the year ahead to keep you guys motivated. But that's optional if you want to do that. Okay, so that is today's agenda. And so my words to you guys are that I really have high ambitions for all of you in the year ahead. It's been so fun to work with many of you this past year and to see all of your guys' progress. So the point of this webinar today is to raise your ambition and deepen your discipline. And I think that being disciplined and working hard is a big part of this. It's not just about setting goals, but it's about really being involved in the process and working hard to achieve your goals, because we all know that dressage is really hard. It's a very slow sport, and you have to enjoy the journey and just the process of working towards your goals and towards your dreams. So goodbye 2020 and hello 2021. I thought that that little image was so funny with a little syringe for 2021. So maybe there'll be a vaccine this year and we can get back to more of a normal life. Let's see. So this is what I wanted to start with. So a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. And then a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. So I think that's really important. We kind of are going to start with your dream, but then we have to all break that down into little realistic bite-sized pieces. And so by the end of this webinar, you're going to have a plan. And then your job is that you're going to take action on that plan. And I think that's really important. I'm a big action person, is that we don't just sit here and do this webinar and then forget all about it, but we're going to be committed to taking action on our goals in the year ahead. So these are a few of the courses that I have available. I have a training level, a first level, and a second level course. Unfortunately, for those of you guys that are in different countries, every country has different lower level in dressage. So those won't apply if you're in different parts of the country. But if you're here in the US, those courses apply to you. And then, of course, the Dressage Academy, which is monthly workshops and monthly live Zoom calls like this one. Okay, so you guys can start getting busy there in the chat box. One positive achievement that you have made in your riding in 2020 is the following. So if you want to share your positive achievement with the group today in the chat box, I would love to hear from you. A lot of you guys sent me pictures and little emails this week, which was so fun to hear from you. So let's see, Jennifer said she was surprised her boy did the snowman exercise so well on the first try. For those of you guys that don't know, the snowman exercise is a canter exercise that I have people do. You can look it up on YouTube. I have a video. Okay, Lee wants to make it to a schooling show in 2021. Beth focused on trail riding. So we had a few other people here on the top left-hand corner there. Andrea said she felt more in sync with her horse. On the bottom, being able to compete my horse for the first time, my dream came true. So one thing I want to point out is that not everyone's goal is to compete, and that's totally okay. You don't have to have a goal to compete. Sometimes I honestly think that better goals are things like improving your position or working on the basics, more process-oriented goals as opposed to result-oriented goals. So here are some more pictures from you guys. I love hearing from all of you and just seeing you and your beautiful horses and everything that you are working on. Okay, so now it's time for you to dream a little bit. So this is the time where you're going to write down on your little sheet here, right? We're all writing down at the top here, you write your 2021 goals. And then you're going to write down my dream. So your dream can be something that is, you know, a little bit unrealistic, but just dream a little. It's next year, it's January 1st, 2022. What have you accomplished this year? You can go ahead and write that down. And then once we've dreamed a little, we're going to get a little bit more realistic. So why set goals? Studies show that people who write down their goals are 20% more successful in accomplishing them than those who did not. So we're all here today. We're going to write down our goals. And it's really important to design your year and to design your life a little bit. What are your goals for riding this year? Much like when you are building a house, right? You kind of sit down and you want to design what your house is going to look like. You don't start just like nailing the wood together. You want to sit down and design a plan for what your year is going to look like. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about some failures that I've had. And I think that many of you guys see me and you think like, oh, look how successful she is. Look how good she is as a rider. And I've set many, many goals and they've all been failures. So what is your biggest failure? Don't be afraid to comment in the chat box. We've all had big failures. This first failure here is Geronimo. He's a horse that I got when I was 14, and he taught me a lot, but I never got to go to the young riders. I never got to do the things I wanted to do with him. It wasn't until 10 years later that I actually got to get in the show ring with him and compete him at the FEI, but he was lame a lot. He had a rearing issue. I had to do Western with him. So it certainly wasn't the goal or the dream that I had expected with that horse. So Trump is another failure that I've had. He was my first Grand Prix horse. And when I did my first Grand Prix with him, one of my clients was so nice, and she got champagne, and she had this whole thing for after my first Grand Prix. And Trump was so bad. Like, he was so embarrassingly bad, and he screamed his head off the entire Grand Prix. And I got like a 55%. And I was so embarrassed that I wouldn't even let her open the champagne at the end. So I'm sharing this with you guys to let you know that it's okay to have failures. And even if you don't make your goal or reach your destination, the process of working towards that goal is really the important part of it. So Gatsby's another horse that I had. I got him as a young horse. I trained him, and always, my goal with my horses is the Grand Prix. And I ended up selling him because he just wasn't, he didn't have the quality to really be a top Grand Prix horse for me. So let's see. Finally, here's a picture of Harvey. And to be honest, this is the first year that I have completed my goal to get to the national championships with Harvey. I've wanted to do this with many horses, and every year it has been not a failure, but I have never made it before. So I think it's really important to consider that it's not just getting the goal accomplished. It's the process of working towards the goal that's so important. So with Harvey, for example, this year, like, yes, it was great to get to Chicago and compete in, but for me, the rewarding part is the process. So working daily with him, developing a bond with my horse, the little tiny increments of progress that we made to achieve that goal, that really is the most important part of it for me. And I think it's really important with horses and with dressage that you keep in mind that it's really the process and the commitment that you make to your horse that's more important than the end result. Okay, so this is a picture of my house. And so I posted up my goals from last year right there by my closet where I saw them every day. And that's really a good idea. You guys can post them in your bathroom or in your closet or somewhere that you see them every day. It serves as a really good reminder, and it's going to help you to not lose sight of your goals. This is the first year that I actually wrote down my goals and posted them somewhere, and I had much more success working towards my goals this year. So today, the goal setting method that we're going to use are objectives and key results. This is kind of a new framework for goal setting that big companies use a lot. Like, I think Google was one that used this, but it's kind of a new framework for how to set goals that's a little bit different. So the objective that you're going to set is where you'd like to go. And then the key results are how you're going to get your goal. Hopefully that lady, I think that's DJ. Can you mute yourself, DJ, so we don't hear the dogs barking, please?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I thought I had done that.
No worries. Okay, so before, one of the more typical frameworks for setting goals is SMART goals. And this is another really good method to use, but we're not going to use that today. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Those are all important things to keep in mind as you set your goals. But today we're going to work on objectives and key results. So to start with, what is your main objective in your riding for 2021? If you guys want to share it in the chat box, feel free. I cannot see the chat box, unfortunately. My computer is not working with me on that aspect. I might be able to if I open it up somewhere else, but I can't see your objective. So I will go back and look at all of your guys' chats later on and read them. So,
Amelia,
yeah.
I thought somebody had a good question in the chat room, which was, and you're in that room. She would like you to tell us exactly what your goals say on your closet door.
Oh, okay. So I intentionally whited them out because I don't know, but for me, I am a little bit of a private person. And so for some people, I think that it's really beneficial to share your goals with other people. But for me, I'm always one of those people that sets goals and then just quietly works away at their goals. So everyone is a little bit different. My goals for last year were related to competing and competing Harvey. But that's just kind of how I do my thing, is that I'm a little more private about it. Some people are more public about it. There's like different schools of thought. Some people say that you should share your goals with everyone. And other people say that you should keep your goals more private, maybe like share them with people that are close to you or that are involved in achieving your goal. But for me, I think, especially since I have such a public persona, that I like to keep my goals a little more private. Maybe part of that's protecting myself, because if I fail or if I don't achieve my goal, I don't necessarily want the whole world to know that. So whatever you guys want to do. Okay, and yes, thank you for interrupting me, Joellen, because I can't see the chat today. So what are your main objectives in your riding? So it's really important. These objectives can be kind of stretch goals. It's important that they're meaningful to you. So like I said before, everyone has a different way of enjoying their horse. My husband always says that. He says, everyone has the right to enjoy their horse in the way that they want to enjoy their horse. So not everyone's goal is to go to the Olympics, and that's totally okay. Your goal can be that you want to canter and not be afraid. Your goal can be that you want to enjoy your horse. Your goal can be that you want to ride 4 days a week and feel like you're in control of your horse. But you do want your goal to be something that's meaningful to you. You want it to be audacious, and you want it to be inspiring. So you want your goal to be something that you are excited about. If you're not excited about it, then you're not going to work towards it. So it's important to keep in mind, as you're setting these goals and as you're working towards this, the object and the general principles of dressage. So I got this off of the FEI site. So this is the FEI definition. You want a happy athlete. So that's always first and foremost, is that your horse is happy in their work, that you're not so driven by unrealistic goals that your horse becomes unhappy. You want to have harmonious education. So education is a huge part of dressage, both for you and for your horse, that you're teaching your horse and that you're learning. You want your horse to be calm, supple, loose, and flexible. You want your horse to be confident, attentive, and keen. You want to have freedom and regularity of the paces. You want harmony, lightness, and ease of the movements. You want confident and attentive, submitting generously to the control of the athlete. I think that's really important, that you want your horse to be confident, and you want your horse to be a willing partner. You don't want your horse to be unhappy in their work. And then straightness. So that's kind of a big part of dressage, but you want your horse to remain absolutely straight in any movement, on a straight line and in a bending line. So working towards straightness and symmetry, both as a rider, we all need to work on our straightness and our symmetry. That might be something that you're writing down in your goals, is, working out some kinks or asymmetries that you have in your body, and trying to get your horse more symmetrical and more straight is going to allow your horse to perform better and to perform longer. So the more symmetrical and straight your horse is, the more likely they are to stay sound and have a longer career as a riding horse. So what are your strengths and weaknesses? Again, this is kind of helping you come up with your objective and then some key results that you're going to lay out to make progress this year towards your goal. We always start with rider position. So your horse is only as good as you are. You have to improve as a rider. You have to work on your position. You need to work on your aids. You need to work on your timing in order to make progress in dressage. And then the dressage training scale, of course, that's the foundation of dressage training. So you always start at the bottom with rhythm, suppleness, connection, impulsion, straightness, and then working up towards collection. So you can look at this training scale and kind of look at, okay, what's your strengths and what's your weaknesses? For me, my weakness is straightness. I don't work nearly enough on straightness. So that's something that I need to work on with my horses. And as I work towards my goals this year, is working on getting my horses more straight and more symmetrical. For some of you guys, it could be relaxation. So a big part of suppleness is relaxation. Let me see, Sheila, if you can mute yourself, that would be helpful so that we don't hear any extraneous noises going on. Okay, so key results. Once you've kind of written down your objective, the next thing is to look at your key results. So your key results should be specific and time bound. They should be aggressive yet realistic, and they should be measurable and verifiable. So we're going to go over some specifics of like what an objective and what a key result would look like in a second. But that just gives you guys some ideas of things to think about for key results. So key results could be something like, I'm going to make a commitment to get to the barn 4 days a week. I understand it's winter time. There's days that maybe you can't ride or things happen, but get to the barn and get your horse out and at least hand walk them around. That would be a key result, something that's helping you work towards your objective. Another key result would be to do Pilates twice a week and work on your own personal fitness, because that's going to help you with your riding and with your training. So here's some examples of objectives and then key results. Like I said, all of you guys are different. We all enjoy our horses in a different way, and that's totally okay. So when I write my goals or my objectives, I always like to put it like in, I will do this, because I think that starts to help get your mind thinking that way. So I will compete second level in 2021. That could be an objective for some of you guys. And then your key results would be things like ride 4 times a week, take a lesson twice a week, incorporate the walk canter transitions into the daily training, ride more from my seat. That needs to be a little more specific. How are you going to practice riding from your seat? You're going to, do your Pilates twice a week and have your instructor help you, whatever it might be. Join the academy and practice the monthly exercises. So I do have an academy where every month we do Zoom lectures like this one. And I know a lot of you guys are already signed up for that. And we get new exercises every month. So that's a good key result that's process oriented, that's something that's going to help you with the process and the day-to-day and the month-to-month process of actually reaching your goal. So another example of an objective is in 2021, I will ride with confidence and communicate effectively with my horse. This will allow me to enjoy riding. And, you know, for many of us, it's even for me, I think that that's my biggest goal is that I love my horses. I love riding and I want to go every day and enjoy it. Certainly I have goals, but that's the most important thing for me. The point at which I'm not enjoying it and my horse isn't enjoying it, that's when I know that I need to change things. So some key results for this goal might be, you know, get to the barn 4 times a week, even if it's just to spend time with my horse. Consistency is a huge part of riding and of dressage. You have to be consistent. You have to be there for your horse. And the more that you see your horse, the more you interact with your horse, even if it's not riding them, the more that that will help you to make progress. Spend 2
Amelia?
minutes. Yeah.
Hi. One of the things that you do that somebody was asking about is you actually put these on your phone and then how does that work? They come up as a reminder on your phone?
Oh, yeah. So I will do that. I will set a reminder or an alarm for myself to like for things that I want to work on as far as my goals. So my mom is recalling there was this one time where I watched a video of myself riding and my hands were like horrible. Like I felt like I was just pulling back and my hands were all over the place. And so I put a reminder on my phone for every morning. I think it was like at 8 o'clock because usually I rode after that to fix my effing hands. And my mom picked up my phone and she was like, "What is this?" But just, you know, find little ways to remind yourself of these goals. Like we talked about posting it in your closet, set a reminder on your phone. Another good thing in the key results here is setting the intention for your ride. So I think that in our lives, we get so hurried about everything that we do that we don't ever take that time to just breathe and relax and then set the intention for the next thing you're going to do. So, for example, if you come to the barn from work, it's good to just turn your car off, sit in your car for 1 minute, breathe, and just let go of all the stress of your work and your home life and whatever, and set the intention for how you want to be with your horse, how you want to be present, how you're going to ride, the emotions that you're going to have, and the confidence that you're going to bring to your ride. I think that's really important. Horses are very perceptive of our energy, almost more so than we are. And so your horse senses your tension. Like when you come to the barn and you're upset and you're stressed and you're in a hurry, they sense that. And so it's really important that you just take that time to set your intention for your day at the barn. And then I also, so at the bottom here, I put practice riding training level test 1. So even if your goal is not to show, and like I said before, that's totally okay. The dressage tests are really designed to help you structure your ride and to help you train your horse properly. So I think it's really good to sit down and learn the tests and practice some of the movements in the test. That's going to help you to train your horse and to get more confidence and to get your horse more with you, even if your goal is never to show, even if your intention is never to compete. So some important categories for key results. One is education. So never underestimate your education. For me, this is one of my big goals is that I really want to continue learning how to train Grand Prix horses. That means that I have to seek out and go and train with Grand Prix trainers. So that means putting my horses in a trailer, driving 2 hours to go work with Mr. Hinneman, but that's really important. You have to continue with your education. And I hope to help you guys continue your education this year. Another one is competition or test riding. Like I mentioned before, look up the tests and practice some little patterns from the test. Work towards those test movements, even if you don't want to show your horse. Another big one is health and fitness. So of course, this is January 1st. A lot of people set New Year's resolutions to get fit and healthy. And for me, at least, I'm always more motivated by my horses. So I feel like I have to stay fit and healthy so that I can ride better and that I can be good to my horse in the saddle. It's really not fair to be riding or to expect your horse to perform well when you are not fit and in control of your body yourself. So that's an important thing to consider when you're writing down your key results. Another one is habit and priority. So riding and spending time with your horse has to be a habit and a priority in your life. It needs to be something that you do every day, like, getting up and getting dressed in the morning, brushing your teeth. The more that you are at the barn, the more time that you put in, the harder you work towards your goals, the more progress you will make towards your goals. And then, of course, friends and community. That's why we're all here today. That's why I love seeing you guys on my Facebook group and your comments, because it's really important that you have support in the ups and downs. There's a lot of hard times in this sport. So we're all going to be here to support each other in the year ahead, because we all know with horses how quickly you can go from being on the top of the world and like you're achieving your dreams to the next day, like your horse is lame or they pass away or something terrible can happen. So that's where we all need to support each other.
Amelia, from the chat box, can you talk a little bit about fitness and how you like squeeze 20 minutes in?
Yeah. So definitely like I used to go to the gym, and of course with COVID that's gotten hard and our house is tiny, but what I do personally is I try to, even if I just have 20 minutes, really that's all you need. Set the timer in your kitchen or on your phone, and what I like to do is I like to go on YouTube and I pull up some YouTube videos. There's this girl, her name's Mad Fit. It's MADFIT. And she has just all these like easy, no equipment exercises that you can do. She does some like little dance workouts, which I'm a horrible dancer, but just get your body moving and stretch your body and get a little cardio going and do some squats. Like, you don't need equipment, you don't need anything fancy, you just need to move your body and stretch your body. So there's a lot of free resources on YouTube. Many of you guys have taken my rider position course, and we have a lot of specific exercises in that course that help you with your riding. For those of you guys in the academy, or if you want to join the academy next month, so I'm going to release the videos this week. We have 2 exercises that are specifically going to help you with your seat and with your legs. So that's going to be available starting next week. I work with a physical therapist named Stephanie, and she's going to help me with those exercises. But definitely, work on your fitness, get out and move around, work on your cardio. It really is important if you want to become a better rider. Okay, so the dressage tests, and like I mentioned before, for those of you guys that are in different countries, which is so cool, but your lower level tests will be different than what we have here in the US. But no matter what country you're in, there's a committee that sits down and designs the tests to help you train your horse. So here in the US, we have intro, then we have training level, then we have first level, second level, third level, fourth level. The tests get progressively more difficult. So in the lower levels, you're focusing on the basics. So on the left there, you have a 3-loop serpentine. So in training level test 3, you have to ride a 3-loop serpentine at the trot. That's a really good exercise. It works on a lot of things. It works on suppleness. It works on you being able to steer and ride accurately. It works on rhythm. It works on relaxation. It works on the base of the training scale. And then when you move up to first level, so the middle image there is a pattern from first level. At first level, now you have half 10-meter circles returning to the rail at M. So you can see at first level, your turns tighten up a little bit. So things get a little bit more challenging at first level as opposed to at training level. And then at second level, this is interesting. At second level test 3, you have to do the same 3-loop serpentine, but in second level, you have to do it in the canter and you have to maintain the counter canter. So that's big. That's really hard. You have to hold the counter canter. Your horse has to stay collected, but it's really interesting. You can see how at training level, they're helping you to get ready for second level. So I really recommend looking at the tests, picking a test and start kind of trying to ride through some little pieces of it because it will help you to train your horse. So we were just talking a little bit about training level. Also, if you look up the test, you'll see that at the top left-hand corner of the tests is the purpose. So the purpose of training level is to confirm that the horse demonstrates correct basics, is supple and moves freely forward in a clear rhythm with a steady tempo and steady contact with the bit. So if you look at the dressage training scale, training level focuses on rhythm, suppleness, and connection. So those are all good things to think about as you guys are writing down your key results is, what issues are you having with rhythm, with suppleness, and with connection? Those are good things to work on. So now first level. First level, the purpose of first level is to confirm that the horse demonstrates correct basics. And in addition to the requirements at training level, has developed thrust and improved balance and throughness, and maintains a more consistent contact with the bit. So the big difference in first level as opposed to training level is that this idea of thrust. And thrust is the feeling where your horse really pushes off their hind legs. You need to have that thrust in order to do a trot lengthening or a canter lengthening. And it's really important that you have this idea of thrust, of pushing power, before you start collecting your horse for second level. So I do have a course on training level and a course on first level. And those courses are going to be on sale this week. Joellen will put the link in the chat box, but you can find all my courses that are on sale for this week. It's going to be at www.dressagetraininglab.com/2021. So in these courses, I really break everything down to give you exactly what you need to get ready to compete at training level or at first level. So we start with the purpose of training level. I then go through each individual test. So there's 3 tests at each level. And I ride through the test, ride through every movement, explain what I'm thinking about and how to properly ride each movement. We also talk about the scoring side of things. So the collective marks, those are the scores that you get at the end of your test, and kind of just the general impression for your test. So there's a score for gaits, there's a score for submission, there's a score for impulsion, and then there's 2 scores for rider position. So it's important that you understand those scores and understand what the judge is looking for. And then in each of these courses, we break down each individual movement, because as you guys are setting your goals, as you're setting your key results, you're breaking things down. So what movements do you need to practice? Do you need to practice your stretch circle? Do you need to practice your canter? Do you need to practice your halt transitions? Like, where are the problem areas and what do you need to practice? And then with both of these courses, for the final exam, what you'll do is you'll video yourself riding through the test and send it to me. You can either put it on YouTube or just email it to me, and I will score it and then give you some constructive feedback to help improve your test. So this is a really good opportunity to get some feedback, some one-on-one feedback, and to get you ready to show. Or even if you don't want to actually go to a show, it's a good thing to work towards riding through one of these tests.
Amelia, there's a couple questions in the chat. One of them is, if I'm not competing, how does this help me train my horse? That's one of the questions. And then the second question is, what are you thinking about for the upper level courses?
Okay, so if you don't want to compete, which is totally fine, it's still good to work on the test, because like I mentioned before, the tests are designed to help you train your horse. It's also really important that when you're riding your horse, when you get on your horse, that you have a plan. So horses get confidence by us telling them what to do. If you get on your horse and you're just like, I don't really know what we're going to do today, we're just going to kind of wander around and maybe do a little this or that, your horse is going to get probably bored or not sure what they're supposed to do, and they're going to spook and run around and put their head up and do something bad. So if you don't have an agenda for your horse, they're going to come up with their own agenda. So practicing these tests give you patterns, give you exercises that you can work on that will help give your horse confidence and get your horse better on the aids and make it more enjoyable to ride your horse. Because that's really, if your goal is to enjoy your horse, you want your horse to listen to you, and you want your horse to go where you tell them to go and to go the speed that you want them to go. So you need to do exercises to work towards that. For the upper level courses, I haven't done those yet. They're still a work in progress. But if you're an upper level rider, I definitely think that the Dressage Academy is a good thing with the monthly workshops. That's a great thing to join if you're working more at the upper levels, because in the academy, we focus more on, of course, we focus on the basics, but with specific topics every month that will help you if you're working more at the upper levels. Okay, so second level, there's a big jump from first level to second level, because at second level, we have this idea of collection. So at second level, suddenly you're working through the entire training scale. So when you're riding second level, you're thinking about rhythm, suppleness, connection, impulsion, straightness, and collection in every single movement that you do. So a lot of riders and a lot of horses get stuck in this little gateway between first level and second level. So I've created a course to help you guys with second level. And you can see that in this course, there's a lot more movements that we talk about. Second level has turn on the haunches, shoulder in, haunches in, medium trot, simple changes, counter canter, medium canter, halt and rein back. So you can see there's just a lot of new things that happen at second level. And even if you're not ready to, if you're still at training level or intro level, it's important always to kind of have this idea of where you're going, to know that when you get to second level, things get a lot more complicated. So it's really important when you're training at the lower levels that you are really getting your basics solid, that you're getting your transition solid, that you're getting the connection right, that you're getting your horse relaxed and with you. So that when you make this leap to second level and things get more complicated, that the basics are solid and you have a solid foundation on your horse.
Amelia, there's a question in the chat. Can you discuss briefly the flying changes, and would you train them even if you're just trying to hold the counter canter at second level?
That's a good question. And it's always a little bit of a tricky area because at second level, you have counter canter, and at third level, you have the flying changes. So you don't want to do so much counter canter that your horse becomes so comfortable with the counter canter that they'll never do a flying change. But if you're showing second level, you need to focus more on the counter canter than on the flying changes. Because if you're working a lot on the flying changes and then you need to go back and do counter canter in your test, it can be a little bit confusing for your horse. So what I would recommend is that, like, if you want to show second level this year, that's your goal, is that you're going to compete second level. First, you want to really make sure that you have the counter canter and the simple changes really solid. Once you feel like that's competent, then you can start working towards the flying changes, throwing in maybe a few flying changes here and there. But if you're going to show, like if you have a show coming up, then you would back off the flying changes for a few weeks before the show, because you don't want your horse to be anticipating a flying change when you need to be doing counter canter. That's one thing we talk a lot about in this second level course, is that, like, in the how to prepare for the show section and how to design your warm up, you would never do a flying change in the warm up for a second level test, because that's going to confuse your horse. In the warm up, when you're warming up for the show, you only do the movements that are in that test. You would never do something that's not in the test in your warm up, because that's just going to frazzle and confuse your horse. Okay, so these are the courses that I have for sale this week. And of course, you know, I always offer a lot of free content to you guys. I'm always here for you. My goal is I really want dressage to be available to everyone. I want it to be like dressage for all. But I do offer these paid programs because, like I said before, your education is hugely important. And these programs, I put a lot of time into designing them to help you really stay committed and achieve your goals. So the Dressage Academy, that's like one of my favorite ones. It's monthly workshops like this. So we have a live Zoom call every month on a different topic. So last month we did the aids. This month we're doing rider position, seat, and legs. So that's a really great program to join to help you with the process of working towards your goals. So to remind you, like every month, I'm going to send you guys new exercises. There's going to be a new lecture. There's going to be new things for you to work on with your horse. So you don't get to just, you know, write down your goals today and then forget about them. You have to stay committed every month to working on them. And then, of course, the training level, first level and second level, those are a little bit more result-oriented programs. So the result is that you will, by the end of that program, ride through a test. It's important to have both, to be involved in the process of working towards your goal and also the end result. So, like I said, it's really about the journey. It's not just about the destination. When I look back at my career and I think of all the, like, quote unquote failures that I've had, I realize that all the failures that I've had and all of the goals that I've never reached are what have made me the rider and the trainer that I am today. So it's about the journey. It's about working towards this. That's the important part of riding and training and enjoying our horses. Often in dressage, your progress looks like this, or usually worse than this, to be honest. There's a lot of ups and downs. So we all think that, our progress should be just like this nice, straight upward trend. But in dressage, there's a lot of zigzagging. So it'll be like one step forward, two steps backwards. And that is just how it is. You go one day and you have the best ride of your life, and the next day it's like horrible and your horse runs off and you fall off and it's like terrible. So it's important to recognize this. It's important to stay, like, not get so emotional about the ups and downs. And I think that's where community and having friends and support, and like we have our little virtual communities, is really cool. My husband, he's always so great. Like whenever I come home and I get depressed some days and I'm like, oh, I'm just never going to be good enough. And I should just quit and never ride again. And tomorrow's another day. So, don't get too upset or worried about these little ups and downs. So long as you're sticking with it and there's like a little bit of a positive trend, you're doing well. Dressage is really slow. So much of what we want in life is we want it now and we want it fast and we want it to happen. And that's just not how it is with horses. That's not how dressage is. So, be aware of that and don't get so depressed if it's not happening fast. Okay, so this is a little look inside the academy. And if you join, you will get access also to the back workshops that we did. So in September, we focused on contact and connection. In October, we focused on suppleness of the dressage horse and rider. November, we focused on evasions. And then this month, we are focusing on rider position, seat, and legs. So this is a great program. If you join today, you can also look back at these old materials. For those of you guys that are members, you will always have access to the old months of materials. And I think that's really important because, like that graph we just looked at, dressage isn't linear. So sometimes you need to go back and you need to work on contact and connection. And then, maybe the next day you can work on flying changes, but you always are going back to the basics in dressage. That's really, really what it's all about. And so the Academy provides kind of a framework where you get new exercises every month, but you're always going back to these basic concepts and really learning the theory of dressage. Okay, we just talked about that. So dealing with failure. So success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. I think that that's really a true statement. And it's funny because when I was like making this presentation, I was trying to think of my failures. And it was funny because it was hard for me to come up with failures. And I think part of that is that I just keep like chipping away at it. Like, okay, I set myself up for something and it didn't go well and I failed and I didn't reach my goal. Well, whatever. I'm just going to pivot my goal, make a new goal, and keep working at it. You don't want to dwell on your failures and like beat yourself up about like, gosh, I suck and I'm such an idiot and I'm never going to get there. You just want to pivot and make a new goal and start working on something else, because dwelling on your failures is really not productive. Certainly learn from them, but don't dwell on them. I wanted to touch a little bit about rehab and injuries because I think that this is a really difficult thing in our sport. It's different when we're talking about riding and dressage because like other goals that you have are just focused on you, like if you want to learn how to play the piano, you're not reliant on another being for that goal. You can sit at your piano and practice as much as you want. But with horses, and with what we ask them to do, which isn't natural, they often have injuries. And these can be really frustrating times because usually the horse has to be on stall rest and you don't get to ride, and the horse is going nuts because they can't get out and they can't run around. Um, but a few things. One is that every time that I've had a horse that has had an injury and, I wasn't able to ride for a while and I was really bummed about it, you always get to kind of start over fresh. So that's one good thing about rehab and an injury is it allows you to kind of reset. It allows you to have a chunk of time that's off, and then you get to start over again. You get to build the correct muscles on your horse. You get to have a chunk of time where you're really reflecting on your riding and on your position, and then you get to start over again. I spent a lot of time with my horse Geronimo hand walking him. And I actually learned a lot by hand walking that horse. I learned how to better connect with him. I learned how to handle him on the ground when he was being not nice. So I learned about ground manners and um, how to get my horse better behaved when I'm leading him. So it's always important to look at even setbacks as an opportunity. You may need to reassess, you may need to adapt and modify your goals, but you can still learn something even if you can't be riding your horse. So we're talking about objectives and key results. And part of what I like about this framework is that they are dynamic and they are ambitious. So like we talked about, your objective and your key results are going to change throughout this year. And that's totally fine. That's part of it, is being able to look at your goals and be able to change course. And, that's totally fine. It's also okay that because you're setting an ambitious goal that you're excited about, that you might only achieve 60 or 70% of this goal. So that's how like big companies, when they set these objectives and key results, if they make it to like 60 or 70%, they're thrilled. And so that's part of it, is just setting that dream out there and working towards it and getting as far as you go. Okay, so my commitment to you guys, this is one of my big goals for 2021, is that I am really committed to being here for you and to continuing with my online programs and my online support for all of you. My dream is really to make dressage for all. So to make dressage accessible to you no matter where you are in the world, no matter how rural you are. I think that if you're hungry for knowledge and if you're hungry to learn this sport, that you can do it. When I was a kid, we used to have those little VHS tapes. And I remember like saving up my money to buy a program. And then I would watch that videotape over and over again and just try to learn as much as possible. So in this day and age, we have YouTube, and I post a new video every Wednesday. So I will continue to do that in the year ahead for you guys to help you stay motivated and make your progress with your horses. I also do a Facebook Live at 6 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays. Sometimes those are a little hard to find, so I may try to record them because Facebook, like, it doesn't always pull up on the algorithm. So I know a lot of you guys try to find them and you can't, but I'm going to continue to do those. And if you have questions, post on the group and I will try to answer them. And then of course the Academy with our monthly workshops. So do you have a question, Joellen?
Yes, Amelia. In the chat room, people are talking about, how do I choose between training level and first level? Or how do I think about, I want to show training level, but I'm doing some first level movements. What's your advice for how to think about how to choose the levels?
That's a good one. I would say, like, if you're trying to decide between training level and first level, I would probably go for the first level course because it's a little more of a stretch for you. But in the first level course, we go over like more movement. So in the first level, we go over leg yields and 10-meter circles. And so that would be maybe your like more of your stretch goal. And then even if you're only going to be competing at training level in the year ahead, but you're stretching to work for first level, I think that that would be fine. You know, training level and first level, they have a lot of similarities between them. Like you do working trot and working canter, both at training level and at first level. So you don't have collected gaits until second level. Like I mentioned, there's that big leap between first level and second level. So yeah, I would say go for first level, and then you can always, you know, go back and work on the basics for training level. And then, so my other commitment is, of course, the academy, and that's going to be new workshops every month. I kind of think of that as like my virtual training students. For those of you guys that are in the academy, you know that I always answer your questions. So if you're in the academy and you post a question, I always answer it. And then we have monthly meetings. So the academy, we meet every third Sunday at noon. And then I also do that lecture on the previous Wednesday. I do a live Zoom lecture every month if you're part of the academy. I do new exercises for you to practice every month, and then we do a different topic every month. So it's just kind of a way, it's like, I don't know, what do they call that? Like fruit of the month club for dressage. You get a new exercise and a new topic every month to work on. So those are going to be available this week for 15% off. So I hope you sign up. All of my courses come with a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you sign up for one of them and for whatever reason, if you just feel like it's not helpful for you, it's not going to help you with your horse, then just shoot me an email. I'll refund your money, and no hard feelings. I really want to help you guys, and I want you to feel like you're getting benefit from my programs. So whoever enrolls first, I have some more hats. I just ordered some more hats like this, and they sent me a notification that they're coming in the mail. So for the first of you guys that sign up, either after this webinar or during this webinar, I will send you hats. And unfortunately, I tried to get them with the Academy logo, but they said that they're too small. So they will be just like this one I am wearing. Okay, those are the prices. So the training level and the first level course are $170. The second level course is $190. And then the academy is $41 for the first month and then $49 per month after that. My courses are, the academy is approved for USDF credit, and we're working on getting the other 3 courses approved by USDF. Basically, what this means is that USDF recognizes our programs as beneficial and as providing the correct content for you guys to learn dressage. And if you accrue enough credits, you can apply to USDF and they'll send you a diploma, which is just a certificate that you are working on your education. And like we talked about, so much of dressage is learning and improving and continuing your education. Okay, so I told you guys about my commitment to you guys in 2021. So now I want to know what your commitment is to me. So I'm going to stop this so that I can actually read the chat, because I want to hear what your guys' commitment is to me. Let me scroll down. Sorry that I wasn't able to see the chat, but thank you, Joellen, for, okay, we have some people already purchasing. So I want you guys to write in the chat what your commitment is to me for 2021. Okay, Shelly's going to enroll in the course. Veronica wants a hat. I know I need to work on getting these hats more readily available. Sarah is self-care, working out 4 times per week and incorporating stretching. That is a great goal. Joanne, commit to 5 times a week for my horse. Joellen, let's see what else. You guys are going so fast. Keep going on education. I can't even keep up with you guys. I'll have to post this whole thread later because I can't even read all of them. Erin's going to take her time to set intentions before she rides. That's a good one. Okay, you guys are enrolling in the courses. That is fantastic. So I hope that you guys, okay, so let's go back to our little sheet. I hope that you guys have written your dream. I hope you've written your objective. I hope you've written your key results. You probably are going to have to go through a few iterations of this page. That's kind of like how I do it is I start out and I just write like my dream, my objectives, my key results, and then I go back through and you have to sort through like, okay, how are you going to accomplish this? What's the most important? Kind of whittle things out and try to really streamline your plan for the year ahead. And then, write it nice. Maybe like for those of you guys that are artistic, like draw some pictures and post a really pretty picture of what you're going to do in the year ahead. Okay, Susan, can I take the training level course even though I can't ride right now? Yes. So you guys, if you enroll in the courses, you have lifetime access to them. So it's not like the material ever goes away. You will always have access to them. And I actually just like totally revamped the training level course. So if you enrolled in the training level course a while ago, it's got a ton of new content on it. So once you enroll in a course, you'll always have access to it. And with the Academy, that's a little different because that's a monthly subscription. So it's a lower monthly fee, but you do have to stay enrolled in it to continue to see all that material, but you'll have access to all the all the previous material. Okay, I have a few final slides and then we can do breakout rooms for those of you guys that want to do that. Oops. Okay, so mindset of the dressage rider. I always love this poem, so I have to bring it up again today because I think it's really important. The saddest thing I've ever seen is a woman on a horse that does not believe she is good enough to be there. So you guys are all good enough to be there and to be on your horse, and you deserve it. So do not compare yourself. There's only this moment, this horse, your hands, seat, voice, and leg define the parameters of the entire world for this horse. What anyone else is doing or has ever done does not matter. Whomever it is that you look up to or feel less than is in turn looking up to another rider, wishing to aspire to that level. So be content where you are. You are blessed. You are your only competition. Just be better today than you were yesterday. Try hard for your horse. You ride and try hard for yourself. Most of all, enjoy this time, every moment, every stride, every cue that is answered with a response. Cherish this partnership. Know that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. That is like my all-time favorite poem. And I just, as much as we have these goals and that we are so like type A and working towards something, it's important to just enjoy where you are and enjoy your horse and enjoy every moment, because the process and the journey is what it's all about. It's not all about the destination. So here's a few more quotes because I always love these quotes. So some people dream of success while others wake up and work hard at it. And you have to work hard. I mean, if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to make progress, it comes with hard work. I work like 12, 14-hour days and I never take a day off, and I love it, but it's hard work. So C.S. Lewis here says, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. These goals and having these aspirations are what keep us motivated and keep us positive and keep us looking forward to the future. Set your goals, make your plans, and chase your dreams. That's another one. So for any of you guys that want to share your OKRs on Facebook, I would love to see them. If you want to keep them private because you're like me, I totally understand. I'm going to do now for any of you guys that want to stick around for the breakout rooms. I will set that up for you guys. If you don't want to stick around, it's been great to have you all here, and I'm so grateful that you are here today. Do we have any other important questions, Joellen, before we do breakouts?
Not that I can see. Everybody really likes you sharing the poem. And a couple people have to go, but it was great.
Okay, so for those of you guys that want to stay around, hang on, I have to set this up, but the breakout rooms are basically, I'm going to put you guys into individual meeting rooms. So you'll have to opt in to go into the individual meeting room. I'll put you in a meeting room with 3 or 4 other people, and you'll have about 15 minutes to talk to 2 other people in the group. And you can just kind of discuss maybe what your objective and your key results are. And then if you want to, you can exchange contact information and kind of keep up with each other in the year ahead. But it's totally optional if you want to do that or not. So let's see, we had a few people leave. So we're going to do 25 rooms. Bye everyone if you have to leave, but we're going to do 25 rooms, and I will see you all back here in about 15 minutes. So you'll have to select, and then it will put you away into a different room with 2 other people if you want to join the workout or the breakout groups. If you don't want to join them, that's totally fine. You should see like a little icon on your computer that says join breakout room, and you'll want to click on that, and then you can go into an individual room with 2 other people. Oh, I think, sorry, Marta, I have to assign you to a room. Yeah, Katie and Sheila, if you guys want to join the breakout rooms, there should be like a little thing that you hit, and then it will send you to your breakout room. If you guys have any other questions for me, you can unmute yourself and ask me your questions. I'm happy to answer them. I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of you about your goals and your improvements in the year ahead. How were your breakout rooms? Good? Okay? Bad?
Good. Yeah.
Good.
I got kicked out, and the other 2 people had to leave, so we really didn't do anything. But your webinar was wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, good. Good.
I'm inspired now. If the rain just stops, I'll be able to proceed.
Oh, good. Did you get some good goals written down for yourself?
Ice cream.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's a fun. That's the one. Oh man. I think I lost you.
Oh, sorry. We're back in the big meeting now. Everyone's back.
Yeah, my internet just crapped out, so I'm on my phone now.
Oh, that's always annoying.
It is. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
All right. Do you guys have any final questions for me?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go for it.
I chatted this a couple times. Are you at all interested in doing any clinics in San Diego County?
Yeah, I do that. Sure.
Could we connect?
Yeah. Can you send me an email
Yeah, is it just Amelia Newcomb
at
at
colorado.edu?
Colorado?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
amelia.newcomb at
Okay.
colorado.edu.
Okay, Newcomb at Colorado. Okay, sorry, at colorado.com?
.edu.
Oh, .edu, got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Oh, my Joellen typed it in the chat there for you too.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm trying not to do any clinics like that I have to really travel for, but I could drive there, so that would be perfect.
Well, you're not too far away anyway, I don't think. Are you?
No, I can drive to San Diego. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like 3 hours away.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Judy's asking, how do we connect with the people that we were in the chat room? We didn't have a chance to exchange. I don't know who was in your chat room, Judy, but they could type their email address there, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's a little bit the thing. I can try and look and see if Zoom has a recording of it, but yeah, I don't have any way of seeing
Or
it.
maybe just through your Facebook,
Yeah, through the
through the
Facebook group.
Facebook page.
Yeah, that could work. So, but yeah, it was so great to spend New Year's Day with all of you guys. Oh, there's someone, Angela. There's Angela for you, Judy. It's so great. I love to see you guys, connecting and making friends and having a little support team, because I think that's so important in this sport, is not to get isolated and alone, because we all have great days and we all need to help each other out on days where things are tough. So that's what I'm here for. That's what we're all here for. And
Yeah, the group is great. The group is
Good.
great.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Anyone else? No other final questions? Oh,
Question.
okay.
I'm needing a little help on deciding whether I would like to do your monthly joining membership. I'm sorry, I forgot what it's called, or just simply buying the second level packet. Again, I'm sorry, I forgot what that's called.
Second level dressage.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean, the second level is really like specific towards like, here's all the second level movements. Here's how you ride shoulder in. Here's how you ride haunches in. Here's the patterns. Here's what the judge is looking for. The academy is a little more general. Like, here's how to work on connection. Here's how to work on the aids. Here's how to work on evasion. So they're very different. But it's just a little more of like, if you feel like the foundation's pretty good and you're really ready to work towards second level, then I would do the second level course. If you feel like you need like more of the basics, or you could always like join the academy and join second level later. So it's just a little.
I was just wondering what was more advantageous, going into the academy with the second level information in me, or go into the academy and then get the second level information later.
They're both so important. That's what's hard. It's like, you have to work on the basics, and then you have to try to work on the actual movements and test patterns. So, they're both good. They're just like totally different things. So sorry. I can't.
No, that's okay. From this conversation, I will buy the second level.
Good.
Is what I just came. This is the conclusion I came to.
Yeah. And you could always join the academy later, or, like if you feel like you're getting stuck, or you just need like motivation, and then the academy is good to just like pop in and meet some people and hear another lecture. And so.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anyone else have a question?
I just wanted to help Edie with her decision. So I do the Dressage Academy, and it's been great. And that's given me enough to work on each month. And then I think I'm probably going to do training level course, maybe a little bit further down the road when I've got more time. And because it does, the Dressage Academy, you do give us enough exercises to keep us busy all month.
I have a question. What about, I'm writing pre-St. George, so what about the Dressage Academy? Would that be as functional as it would be for lower level riders?
Yes, definitely. The Academy is like, I really try to design every month for all levels of riders. And I mean, even when you're doing the Pre-St. George, it's so much about basics. So this month we're doing seat and leg. So there's 2 exercises that you'll get that you do when you're not riding. And then you're going to do some riding without stirrups. You're going to do some transitions within the gait from your seat. Last month, we focused on the aids. So it was all about seat, leg, and hand and how to coordinate those and half halts. The month before, we did evasions. So, in Pre-St. George, your horse comes up with, they go crooked, they invert, they curl, they rush, they get too slow. So it's like the Academy's really, I try to make every month for no matter what level you are, that it's always focused on the basics, but the basics become more and more important the higher up that you move in dressage.
I've discovered that.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't get easier for any of you that are at the lower levels and think that it's going to get easier. It doesn't. So
The more you know, the less you know.
Exactly. Anyone
Okay.
else? Questions? You guys are quiet.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Well, then it was so nice to see all of you, and Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to the year ahead, and I'm going to go ride my horse. So I hope you guys do this.
Amelia, one
Yeah.
last thing.
Happy New Year.
Everybody you know in California, we're fighting to keep Horse Park. They're trying to do away.
Oh, yeah.
Send it out to everybody you know.
Okay. I will. I will.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good
Happy
day.
New Year. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye.